Welcome to the 2350 Effect.
Mike, welcome to the 2350 Effect. I'm the co-host, co-collaborator of the 2350 Effect, and I'm joined by always Dr. Farron. Dr. Farron, she's a co-host, collaborator. Introduce yourself, Dr. Farron.
Hi, everyone. I am Tanya Farron, the co-host for this event, the 2350 Effect. I'm excited to be here with everyone tonight. So I am the owner of Creative Living Ideas, as well as I co-host this event, the 2350 Network with Damien, as well as two amazing virtual events that we host a year. We'll talk to you about those later. So excited to have everyone here tonight and our guest.
Yes, and our guest needs no introduction, but we are going to introduce her. She is double figure author. She does a lot of stuff about leadership, mindset, creating one goal. She also does a lot about live audio, live in person virtual events. She's here to talk about virtual events and how to keep people engaged during virtual events. Please welcome the one, the only Leslie Flowers. Welcome to the stage, Leslie.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you both. Hi.
You too.
Hi.
It is so great to see you. And these amazing people in our audience, I want to just acknowledge, thank you, Jackie Hallberg, for joining us tonight, John Werner, Leanna Stock, Luma, Christy Williams, Nick, thank you for joining us, Lisa. Vivek, thank you so much. Stephen, Spencer at Spy. Let's see, Linda Meyer, Abdul, Jocelyn. It's amazing to see you all. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're appreciative of your attendance here. So yeah, we're excited about this. We've been wanting to get Leslie back on the show. She has so many great things to share with all of us and shares them on a regular basis. And so we're excited to do that. But I think before we begin that, we always start with a
laugh. Yeah.
Leslie knows it's a laugh.
Call or text. Call, laugh, or text.
Yes, it's definitely a laugh or call or text. It's one of those things in the last 7 days that made you laugh, call, or text. To be honest, just now made me laugh. So my laugh, call, and text was that if you've been noticing and we're doing laugh, call, or text, Leslie always gets caught off guard with laugh, call, or text, but this time she is not caught off guard with laugh, call, or text. So that was the thing that's funny about it for me, that she is so ready and know about laugh, call, text. So that's my laugh, call, text.
Leslie, do you want to do your laugh, call, or text?
Well, mine's a laugh.
All right, I love it.
If that's okay. Sure. It's like how everybody has plenty of bread and milk, but we have less than a 1/4 inch of ice, and we were preparing for the storm of the century, right? Literally, that's what they called it. And it's just so funny. And also I'm grateful when I just see the light covering and it looks beautiful. So you have to laugh because people go a little crazy, right, when they say the word snow. And this time we dodged a bullet so far.
I love it. I love it. It is funny, right? Is everybody making French toast when it snows? Is that what happens, right? Everybody's got to run out and get their milk, their bread, their eggs. No, it is so funny, but that is something that flies off the shelves, doesn't it, when it is going to snow? I hope everybody is warm. Sean Michael, nice. 79 degrees in Guatemala. Thank you for sharing that. Hope those of you that are in the, I would say, Midwest, East Coast are staying warm and toasty, because it has been snowy and cold going those directions. I would have to say my laugh, call, or text probably has been, I've had some guests at my house this weekend. My mom and my aunt, her sister, their sisters, have joined us for about 5 days down here in Panama City Beach, Florida. And I am telling you, they are a hoot. These two ladies together, we stayed up last night playing some cards, and I don't have a sister, y'all. And this sister relationship, I do not understand. Leslie, do you have a sister?
I didn't. She just passed just
That's
about a month ago. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yes. But
Thank
I
you.
don't understand the sister relationship. Like, and so and I laughed because we would be at the table playing cards and they were yelling at each other and trying to take each other's cards. And then the next minute they would say, I love you, sister. Oh, I love you too, sister. And I said, what in the world?
I think it's you get back in the rut, right? That behavior when we were little kids, right? I think that's what happens when you get around your brothers and sisters.
Yes, they have been such fun. We've had a blast with them. So it's been great to see them. I've been doing a lot of laughing with my mom and my aunt, and it's been great.
I like that.
Yeah.
Connecting. I haven't been that fortunate. It is snowing, and it's snowing a lot. It has been really cold. So, hey. And I
Can we ask the audience to drop in their laugh, call, or text too? So those of you in the audience, if you would also tell us what is something in the last 7 days that has made you laugh, something about a phone call maybe you got or a text that you got, something like that. So if you'll drop that into the chat while we're going on to the next question. Go ahead, Damien.
All right. So our first question is, with the whole start of live events, what inspired you to do live events, Leslie?
Okay, so our topic is like the engagement. So what inspired me? Well, I always done live events. I went to college for drama, right? So I am a public speaker and happy to do that. So I've spent years every week going to different groups and selling my wares, right, and presenting. So it's very natural for me. And then when COVID came along, I simply transferred into the online world. So it's very natural for me, and I love to present and in my area of expertise, and I love the inspiration it brings to other people. So that's really, I've always been that way.
So presenting's been natural for you, right?
Well, when I was 6, I remember standing on the toilet seat in front of the medicine chest, which had a mirror, and I was on TV, right? I would show people how to do their hair and how to brush their teeth. And I wanted to be on TV. It took 50 years to get, but here we are on TV, right? Yeah. So we never know when our dreams will come true. Don't ever give up on them.
I agree completely. I love that. That's amazing. One of the things that I was curious about when I was sitting here thinking about this, so when did you start transitioning to doing like these lives on LinkedIn? You do a lot of lives on LinkedIn. That's actually the platform that you prefer to be live on. What made you jump to LinkedIn, and how did you get started with that?
Well, I was blessed with being kicked off Facebook right before COVID. My computer was hacked, and they banned me. I had a beautiful group that I had monetized, and I was doing lives there. So how I got back over to LinkedIn was I had an account like so many people do,
Sure.
right? But it was inactive in terms of, I'd been here in a while. So I just simply continued doing the work I was doing on Facebook here on LinkedIn, which is a better audience for me. And the few times I've peeked in on Facebook and listened in, I'm glad that I'm here. It seems to be the most sane platform for me.
I do like it too. I agree.
Yeah.
It's a great platform. Yeah. That's cool.
So that's how I got over here. And it just, it's changed so much, LinkedIn has. And, I really, really, really loved the audio rooms. And it was a learning curve flipping a year ago or a year and a couple of months to the live video, where many people, well, I would say October of not last year, but was it last year? No, the year before.
2024.
Yeah, when the audios went away, a lot of people jumped ship.
Right.
They jumped onto other platforms, but I invest only a certain amount of time on social media, and so it's pretty much here. Right. I used to do a lot of different things, but not so much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do the weekly presentations. I'm done with that. Right. So now it was a learning curve staying here and giving the full video way of presenting live a chance. Mm-hmm. How could we do this? Could we have the same engagement, and et cetera?
Yeah. So will you share with everyone, you have 2 shows that you are regularly the host of. Yeah. And we'll come back to this at the end again, but let's tell some people now, the 2 shows that you're regularly hosting on Mondays and Fridays. Tell them about those 2 shows.
Okay. Well, and this is my 3rd year. So I've done 100 of each one of them every week. Right. And so Monday mornings at 11 a.m. this year, Eastern, I do a show called Mind Over Matter Mondays. My work is all about what you think, how often you think it, and how you're feeling when you think it. And to have some control over the only thing human beings that I've found that we can control is what we think. We can control our thoughts and what we're thinking to influence others, but not to change them, not to control them. So Monday, I have guest teachers. And in fact, tomorrow morning, my guest is Felipe Cofino.
Nice.
And the topic is accountability. So anything that has to do with being in charge and responsible for our own thoughts and our own actions, right? That's really what it's about. And the practice has you do it more and more and waste less and less time thinking about what you can do and more time doing what you do know how to do. So, we all have fears and they are real. We've experienced every one of them. And every time we think of it again, it further embeds that fear. So it's really a challenge for us to do something that we've never done before. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, so when you get a big idea, right, that sounds really great and it pops into your mind, really the first thing that comes up is why you can't do it. Right? So It's about, right, you're right. So it's about understanding why you think you can't and then evaluating it. Will it impact this other people enough to outweigh your fears? Are you compelled enough? So that's Monday, and that's Mind Over Matter Mondays. And we do all sorts of different, we've done hypnosis, we've done, we've done, I can't even think, NLP. We've done also all about the vagus nerve and breathing, anything that has us grow in awareness of our infinite potential to add to what we know, what resonates with us. So that's Monday.
Nice.
And then on Friday is my show where I teach Think and Grow Rich, The Principles of Success, and Leadership and Universal Laws. And this is my area of expertise. I rarely have a guest on there. Now, the Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House is the sponsor for that show. And the Monday show is sponsored by Power Thinking Corporation and Mr. Stanley Green, president and CEO of that CBT-based personal development training. So all of these guests on Monday, all the work that they're doing and we're doing, they're all complementary. We're all saying the same thing, but we're at different levels of awareness and we describe it differently. And so people have the opportunity to listen to the teachers and to work with the ones that they resonate with. They won't resonate with everybody, but that's the idea of bringing people in so they can give different points of view. And then Friday, you finish up the week, with the classic, what are the principles of success? What kind of character are you building? Are you able to achieve consistently? Because that book, Think and Grow Rich, I've taught for 18 years and 20,000 hours. And it is the #2 bestseller over the last 100 years of all time.
And what time is that on Fridays you do that?
11 a.m.
Okay.
Eastern. So those are the two, and they kind of bookends, your week. So you can start the week really, being introspective and learning, because learning is the miracle grow for humans. And then regardless of the week you have, you can end the week and kind of close it up with a little more fuel, if you will, positive thinking, etc. So those are the two.
Thank you.
You're
And speaking
welcome.
of learning, like if I'm trying to start my own live events, how do I go about starting live events and getting people engaged?
How do you go about it? Well, you might do what I did. Okay. I hired someone who had been doing lives, and this is about 5 years ago. And I literally paid $500, $250 for 2 sessions on Zoom recorded, where he took me into the Restream studio and walked me through everything. And I have done that for people as well, because when you're doing a live, the last thing that you want to worry about is the technical issues, right? You want to be able to focus on your content. And so those 2 Zoom sessions I went back to many times before I started the lives here using Restream, and I'm now using StreamYard for a different reason, but that would be the first thing. So you would find someone who might help you produce a show. Now, I've done that for 12 weeks for one of my clients who was really staged, what do you call it? Afraid to speak in public, right? She had a fear of public speaking, but she was really good at what she did. And she knew her stuff. And she had started a business, and it was having a hard time getting going. So she had all these different practitioners, and they needed clients. So that 12-week goal, she was my client, was to interview the practitioners so that the public got to know them and what they were doing, but she was scared to death. So I worked with her every week. I sat in the studio. I filtered the comments to her. She started out with a script and was shaking, right? But she did it every single week. So, but she didn't have to worry about anything technical because I was there, right, as part of the program. And let me just tell you, she's still doing it 4 years later. In 12 weeks, she became a master. As she put away the paper, she got really good, right, just by pushing through it 12 times. So I recommend you get with someone who is pretty savvy and talk with them, right? What did they think you should do first? I would seek specialized knowledge, which is one of the principles of success, and that's what I did. Does that answer?
Yeah, that definitely answers the question. I know several people were asking the question of how do you do lives, and you know, is a question we'd love to learn about how to do lives and how to conduct live shows. So I think that's definitely a good answer, because the production part of it is underrated and lost a lot of times. Lost. It's a lot that goes into the production of doing a live event versus it isn't just click on, come on, and then you're live. You have to actually start the show, put it together. There's so many nuances and pieces to it, and I'm glad that you're here to talk about that, because you do it 2 days minimum a week. And you've done over 200 shows, 300 shows. So
200, yeah. 2 years, 50 each one. So, oh no, maybe it's 100. Sorry, not 200.
No, it's more, because you're not counting the ones you've done with other people.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Oh, I mean, but as far as my shows, I've been very consistent with that. What I can tell people is the first thing you have to know is you got to have the content. So if you don't have the content, don't do it yet. You also have to have some followers, right? So you might have the content. You might have someone like Americo DaCosta to help you, or I do helps people somewhat, but that's what he does. But if you don't have any followers, then you're not going to be able to build engagement. So what I do with people that want to start something new, their first 12 weeks is building followers to at least 1,500. When they hit the 1,500, then they can begin to do a consistent show and have people come back and come back and come back. So, right, it's like, don't get the cart before the horse. If you have no followers to speak of, then your job for a business quarter is to build your following. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And, and making those real connections with people too, and finding the people that are in your niche, that you are in the area that you're talking about or that you're wanting to talk about, start doing things like that. I would agree with that. I'm going to add a few things to it too. Start creating some posts. Start creating some posts, right? In social media, in the platform that you're wanting to do, to start bringing some attention to it, and start meeting some people and having some side conversations, to find out what everybody is doing in there. I do want to take a minute and thank some more people that have joined in, who are chiming in. We love it. Thanks for your advice, your tips. Also, this is what we're here to do, is to help generate live engagement with Leslie Flowers, but anybody else also in the audience. So Leanna, thank you so much for joining us and sharing some information. Tom, appreciate that. Mark, if you've not read Mark's comments, please go back in. Damien showed them very quickly, but go back into the comment section and check it out. Thank you. Omar, also for joining us. Jocelyn, Jay, it is great to see you. Nice to see you. I hope you're staying warm where you are. Imran, thank you for joining us on YouTube. I appreciate that very much. Deanna, Leslie, you want to go back and check this comment from Deanna after the show. It looks like you two need to connect, and that would be great. And I think I've caught everyone so far. Albani, thank you for sharing. And Albani did share a nice little laugh caller text, as well as Christy. And I do hope that your son is doing well. So I think that got us everybody caught up. And Tim, thanks for joining us. And William, Rochelle, thank you for joining us. All right. So let's see. I want to know, what do you think? You do a really interesting thing. If you've not listened to Leslie's show, I've been fortunate. I do work an 8 to 5 job, but I have on certain Mondays been able to catch, or Fridays if I'm off, Leslie's shows. And do you want to tell people how you start your show and engage your audience? Because you have a very unique way of doing it. that really makes people feel welcome and gives them an ease to come in? Share that with us.
Well, yeah, I want to back up to the audio rooms a little bit
Sure.
because the audio rooms were such a good way to engage with people, and people were really, I think, generally disappointed. But as I told you before, that at that time, rather than jumping ship, right, which a lot of people did, there had to be a way to increase the engagement, but you had to do it. It wasn't the same as in the audio room. Even those who don't, aren't video and they use a little audio button instead, right? The profile picture. It still doesn't work the same because there's an extra step, and everybody had to get used to going into the studio and all the different things that had to occur around that. And so what was the question again? I kind of got lost.
I was asking you about how you engage your audience at the very
Oh,
beginning,
yeah.
where you open your
Okay.
show, but yeah, you wanted to kind of recap to audio room.
So, yeah, because it was almost like a brand new thing at this time last year. And the things that worked for the audio room did not work the same way because you in order to get people on stage, there was a limited number and it was a big deal to get them on stage. And so these things have evolved over time. The first thing I do is I have an introduction, and sometimes I use it as the outro. So it's like a real show, right? When you move to the place where you want a 2 or 3 minute intro, that's an investment. That doesn't have to happen in the beginning. Your only investment really is the carrier. And then if you have someone helping you, right, start your show, because we would go through the content, right? You've got to know what you're talking about. So again, if you're not an expert in your field yet, having a consistent show would be a challenge for you, right? But it's relative, really, because you can separate your work in a number of different ways. So it can be done as long as you have a certain amount of expertise, which I would assume you would. So you can have an intro, or you could learn to make one yourself, but that's not the first thing. The first thing that I do, very much like what you did, is I spend time acknowledging each person and letting them know who they are for me. So what I know for sure is that a lot of people are by themselves, and they might go a whole week without anybody saying anything to them or anything good, and you wouldn't know. Also, I am good at what I do, yet when you tell me something is good that I'm doing, it sounds better than how I'm evaluating myself, right? So this acknowledgement brings everybody present. They're engaged, right? They've been seen. And I invite everybody to connect, or at least follow one another. Now, a beautiful thing has happened with my shows. Somehow, both audiences are very much the same. And I don't know how that happened, except that the right people who love learning keep coming back. Now, the way that I invite people is by opening 2 windows, the current one that's coming up, who do I want to invite, and then the last event, right? So you can bring up all the attendees, not all the people you invited, but the people who are attendees. And using the new event, you just invite everybody. So I always tell people, even if you can't attend each time, that's how I can invite you back. And to say you'll attend, it's a given in LinkedIn, as far as I can see, that it's not necessary for everyone who says they'll attend to be there. It is a sign of support. And if I can be there, I will be there. So that's the first 15 or 20. Oh, no, I should say first is the intro, then I sing a song. Oh, God. So I've been singing all my life, right? And I'm kind of an old lady now. And so I love singing. And so I opened with a song. Now the songs for the Friday Think and Grow Rich go back to the 40s and 50s, the things that your grandparents or your parents listened to, depending on how old you are. I'm worried that the nostalgia of 100 years ago will disappear. These are the songs that my parents played on their hi-fi, right? The 40s and the 50s. And these are the things that Napoleon Hill and his wife would have listened to 100 years ago. And then as far as the Mind Over Matter, I sing for that too. So I both do that. They have an intro, a song, then the acknowledgement. Then Monday I bring in the guest. And then on Friday I begin the content. I do my best. I can produce at the same time. So I will do my very best to do what Damien is doing right now. Another way for the audience members and the attendees to be seen, right? To be recognized for who they are. And I pretty well know all these people. I know something about all of them. Plus, by saying who they are for me, I'm looking for their greatness. And everybody has it. And when one practices looking for the greatness in someone else, the negative is there too. But we tend to lean toward what's wrong with people instead of what's right. So that 20 minutes that I use acknowledging people is vital. What do they call that? Data mining. Data mining is when they found out that aspirin was good for one thing, but then they found out it was good for heart disease, right? So the data mining there is, and the time saver is, most of this, the Think and Grow Rich studies, you may want to listen to it again. So you can speed right through the first 20 minutes and hit the content. So you're saving 15 or 20 minutes of your time. That's what I do that. If I have a guest on, they bring in several points that they're going to talk about. And then I interrelate with them. So every one of my guests on Monday, I have a private conversation with them to sort out what they're going to talk about so that I can find questions that relate to other teachers and myself so that people listening will recognize the similarities in the concepts. And then I will say what is next. I use a PowerPoint presentation, right? I like to add graphics to it. Sometimes I'll bring in a video. And then I thank everybody and close it with the outro. And I used to be much better at going back in afterward and answering and responding, and I haven't been so good at that lately, so forgive me, everyone. So that's really the design of the show. And then I do this every week with every show. I have a little piece of paper and I go through the PowerPoint and I list what's coming up first, second, third, fourth, first, intro, song, acknowledgement, guest, content. Oh, and then, the sponsors. So you see, there's a lot of things but you do one thing at a time, right? You get good at one thing. So I got good at working in the studio first so that I could focus on the content. So I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, no, I love that. And those of you in the audience, as you have some questions, I know Jocelyn had asked the question about kind of getting the lives started and how to do that. And so, Jocelyn, we hope we answered your question. If we did not, please add some more to it. And everybody else, if you've got a question, you're interested, this might be something you want to start, you've got questions for Leslie or for Damien or myself, please drop them in. We're happy to help you and get you started with this. I think this is great, great information. Absolutely. Damien, did you want to slide over to something real quick while people might be writing some of their questions in? Perfect. So we've got the virtual wellness experience coming up March 20th and 21st. It is a great event. It is a virtual event. We have topics, all sorts of topics on virtual wellness. And actually, Damien, we let tickets go. I mean, you would think we would know this, but sometimes I get my dates mixed up. I'm not going to lie. Early bird tickets go through the end of this month. And so there's a 2-day ticket available for $75 still for the end of this month. Regular tickets are $175. So check that out. Come and join us. It's a virtual event on on a Friday and a Saturday. Wide range of sessions that cover wellness, financial wellness, emotional wellness, mental wellness, physical wellness, nutrition wellness. Like there's all kinds of topics that are coming that for you to learn about relationships, parenting, all of those things to help improve your wellness. So we've got that coming. If you want to be a presenter with us, you can still go to Creative Living Ideas website, click on Virtual Wellness Experience, and then you can click down here to apply and you can read the application form. Damien and I will get back to you. If you just want to sponsor this and advertise for your business, you can click on being a sponsor, or if you want to be a vendor and you don't really want to present, you can check it out. So come join us March 20th and 21st for the virtual wellness experience. It is virtual and you will love it. And we record the sessions so you can go back, like Leslie was saying, and replay. You can't do that when you go to an in-person event. You can't go back and re-watch the sessions. And so this gives you that opportunity. You have it for 30 days. So even if you knew you could come Friday, but you can't come Saturday, all of Saturday would be recorded for you. And then of course, Damien and I as well present. We're securing the rest of our presenters for this event by the end of this month. And then you'll be hearing more about who is actually presenting with us and what their topics are soon, very soon.
Yay.
Yes, and the ticket link is in the chat. It's here. You can click on it for the early bird special, or you can go to Creative Living Ideas and navigate the top bars and go to the virtual wellness experience. Thank you so much for sharing it.
So want me to share something really cool about these live events?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So I mentioned that somehow both of my audiences are somewhat alike. Okay. And what's so interesting is that depending on your content, the RSVPs, the actual attendees, it's a very high percentage rate, first of all. I sent out about 100 invitations to the same people, 110, right? Oh, I've done the blanket ones, and, we may pick up one or two, but so I started looking at the attendance rate, and it's pretty consistent, right? So if I sent out about 100 invitations, somewhere around 70 say they're coming, and 35 typically show, which is a very high return rate. And I believe it's because the information is invigorating, it's energetic, it's inspiring, it's different than what we already know. And these are people that are ready and willing to enter the fifth dimension, if you will, of higher consciousness, to train ourselves to think for solutions that are positive rather than the default, which is negative for almost everybody. So I'm really proud of that. It's not so much the numbers, it's that they continue to come back.
Right. You've got an audience that's wanting to grow and learn with you. I love that. Yeah.
Bobby Lee has a question.
Oh, I'm very bad at this. Well, it works for me. How far in advance? So I do 2 days in advance. I know people do much more, but here's how I do it. So Friday afternoon after Think and Grow Rich, or Saturday morning, I schedule the event for Monday and I send out my invitations. And people kind of know already, right? It's pretty consistent, right? People already know without even needing to be invited. Many people are that way. And then on Friday, on Wednesday, 2 days before, I create the live event for Friday and invite everybody. Now, the reason I do this is I don't want to inundate people with too many events. And it also allows me, for example, to promote a Wednesday event, right? Or a weekend event. Like I'll be sponsoring the virtual wellness experience, and part of my work will be in the middle of the week to make sure that I get the promotions out, so that I'm not flooding the zone, and the people that I have a wonderful relationship with, they're not feeling inundated with too much. So Bobby Lee, that's a really good question. I mean, I've seen people do a week in advance. I've seen them do 4 days or 5 days in advance. For me, that works, but I'm kind of like a machine now. Like I just do the same thing every time, right? It took a while to create it. It's like having a play, right? It's like being on stage and having a play. It's a show. And the Think and Grow Rich is more of an experience, because at the end, because of the concepts are relatively deep and they do require some thinking, I'll usually do a 2-minute visualization that requests and focuses on remembering the things that we just studied. Because as soon as you get out on a Friday, right, you're ready for the weekend, you're going off somewhere, and there could be some really interesting light bulb moments. In fact, I had someone call me, one of the routine people that come every time, wrote me a message at noon on Friday. Could I talk with her? She's got questions, and I didn't see it. So the next morning she called me, and she had one of those breakthrough moments, right? And she had some questions. So a lot of times when you're learning these new concepts or you're hearing them in a different way, they're not really clear right away, right? It sometimes takes a little while to see it again, to think about it. And that's when you can ask your questions, right? Your more insightful questions. So it can happen at any time, but it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot. It was really fun to talk to this gal too, because she's been studying Think and Grow Rich for a while. And, you know, she was asking me about a particular, one of the particular principles. And it had to do with, well, I'm not going to get into that right now. We don't need to do that. This is what else. I could go on forever.
I love it.
I think constructive consistency is so important and key to what you do, because even you saying 2 days, people know that they're going to get the email, the invite 2 days. They know the post is going to come out, and they know that you have the carousel that is coming in place consistently. Yeah. Talk about the carousel and how that helps with consistency.
Okay, well, the carousel really, this is a weekly. It started as a PDF, but now I'm getting better at video. So now I make it an MP4. Basically, there was no good way for me to stay on LinkedIn, get the personal development I wanted, and to find the shows that I really wanted to attend. Rather than jumping around to different platforms, I knew that there was a lot of thought leadership here and a lot of expertise. So I started kind of like a TV guide. That's what Melissa Houston called it. She called it the LinkedIn TV guide. And I started inviting people. Well, if you have a weekly or bi-weekly live show on LinkedIn, it has to be live on LinkedIn. It can be other places, but it's live right here. Then I will put it in the carousel. So that's been going I think this is the third year we've rounded the corner every week. And right now we've got about 30 different shows. So this helps too, because that goes out, and then all the hosts, a lot of them, when they can, they'll repost the carousel into their communities. So that means that everybody else can look through it and go to these different events. And they're consistent, because I don't have an admin. So it's the same day, same time, and same topic. So I don't have to do too much work. But again, this consistency for me, I would have been great in the military, because I love the boundaries of this. Like I know exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. I will get up and I will complete the carousel. And then I will prepare the PowerPoint for Mind Over Matter Mondays at 11, right? And I get to take my time all morning. That's why I pushed it from 10 to 11. I thought, I want another hour in the morning, right, to have a cup of coffee. And so my only regret is that I bumped up right against Shawn Michaels' show. So I do my very best to tell everybody that if they can, go right over to his show after they have a bio break. Now, I remember almost everybody's show. So when I'm acknowledging people in both shows, I can talk about their show, and I do. Right? So Lisa Fevick, every other Tuesday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, she has Menomorphosis Dialogues and a panel dealing with that. Right? William Rochelle, Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. UBU. Power Thinking has a 7:30 a.m. Eastern and a 9:30 p.m. Eastern show. Omar M. has at noon on Sundays, Do We Really Know Them, which is a very unique host and guest, where you find out things that are unusual about people, the things you wouldn't hear. So, and Jackie Hallberg has Just Jacks and Guest Monday nights at 9, and Felipe has every other week Workplace Wellness Hour with Samana Jetty and Ashley Flewellen. And then on Sunday, he does every other week Careers, Chaos, and Coaching with Melissa Houston. Melissa has her Saturday morning coffee chats with Melissa. So over the couple of years, right, that I remember all these shows, so that when I'm acknowledging, I at least can and point that out to the other people in the audience. And so it is the consistency, right? Repetition is how we learn. And I, the phenomenon of car dealerships, when we were watching TV normally, and the commercials would come on before all these streaming services, right? And at certain times of the year, you'll notice that all the local car dealers do their promo, especially around Christmas time, right? Because that's a great time to buy something. But you don't buy a car every year. You may not buy a car for every 5 years, but you know which dealership you're going to, because you've been watching those commercials ad nauseum, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. So you already have decided, when I go and buy a car, I'm going to this dealership. Well, it's the same kind of thing. We learn through repetition, and we remember. We remember how, how that particular car dealer made you feel, what you liked about them. And so that's the same kind of thing about acknowledging people. Really, people they just want to be heard. People just want to be heard, right? Just listen to me. And in this world of sensory overload, for sure, it's hard to be heard, right? It's hard to feel like you matter, and you do. Everyone does. So that's part of what I do, is make sure you know how much you mean to me.
Yeah. That's awesome. It is so great. And the thing that I have a few things to say. The thing that I love about the carousels is that, there are just times where I come in and I'm like, I want to listen to I want to join a live. I want to listen to somebody, but I don't know who has what. You know what I mean? But I can go to Leslie's page, or I can go to our chat with the carousels, or I can go, and I can look it up and say, oh, there's a show today at this time. There's a show this time. I can go listen to this. I can listen to that. And I love that. I mean, it's so convenient because it's not my favorite way that the events are lined up or saved. So just personal, opinion. So I want to acknowledge that. It's a great way. And I think the consistency is so important. And I appreciate what you do in posting those things for myself and for Damien and I and everybody else that's in here. I do think that when you started talking about it, and you've kind of come back to that a couple of different times of talking about acknowledging people. And, I've been talking to some people about loneliness, and, there are a lot of people who, this is their best human connections that they're having right now, for whatever reasons that they may have. And it's important to put these live events out for people for that, so that they can have that as well. And I believe if someone's attending your event, of course, you should acknowledge them, right? We should be grateful that they're joining us. So I'm going to take a minute and say hello to a few more people that have been participating in the chat. Boy, you've got a lot to go back and read over, Leslie. So thank you, Leanna Stock, for coming and showing up for us tonight. And Jocelyn again, and Omar, Christopher, thank you so much. Bobby Lee, appreciate you so much. Mo Dupe, appreciate you. And Coach Carrie, thanks for joining us after your important event. And I'm interested in learning more about what you're reading. I love those types of books. Tanya Davis, it is great to hear from you as well. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Tom Cullen, appreciate you very much. Sorry you had to run, but we're always on replay. That's the best thing about this as well. And John Werner, thanks for coming again. So
someone asked if it's only about mindset. No, but it's about high value and how do I want to say? There's no schlock, right? It's all high value teaching, but it isn't only mindset. We've got menopause, we've got health and wellness. There's all sorts of things. There's a lot of mindset. There is a lot of that. But we've had health people that do fitness programs, right? But again, you've got to have the content to do this consistently. And you have to plan a little bit in advance. So just talk to somebody who's done it before. That's really your first step. You really only need 2 steps, and it doesn't cost you anything. The 2 steps are to find somebody who's done it before so you can ask your questions. And then the second thing is to start attending these things, right? And watch what people do. All the hosts have their own way, right? They have their own way that works for them. And for me, I've just picked up one thing at a time, right? I didn't always have the intro. Nicole taught me with Canva, how to do a little intro, right? So I got very excited about that, right? So you can add those things. But keep in mind that the content I've been developing over almost 20 years. So I have in-depth, right? And I'm in a place in my life where I'm simply sharing everything so that people can get on with it and live a life of wealth, health, and happiness.
I love that.
Get on with it, right? What you don't know yet is what makes the difference. It's all available, but you have to be ready and willing. And not everybody is at the same time. And you can't push anybody into it. So this is kind of an easy way to make sure that you're learning and you're practicing and you're feeling inspired, right? And feeling good about life when there's a lot of stuff going on that you could look at what isn't working, right? The guy that does the cannabis podcast. Oh, I don't know about cannabis podcast. I don't know. I'd have to really think about that. So anybody who has a podcast or has a live and you're not on the carousel, reach out to me, because tomorrow morning I will get up and I will add those. So it's got to be weekly, bi-weekly, the same day, time in Eastern, and what the title is, and I'll be glad to add you. And then you'll be part of a direct message group where each day I will go in and list what those subjects are for that day. Plus the carousel is in there every week. So that information is available to you all the time.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to Leslie Flowers for more tips, more suggestions about how to engage. She is really good at engaging people on live events and also behind the scenes as well.
Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Yeah, and I do think also, like you said, listening to people's live events, everybody has their own flair, their own way. You'll pick different things off of it. And I would recommend, if you're really feeling comfortable with your content, for you to try and be a guest on a few podcasts to give you that opportunity to start publicly speaking. Come join the virtual wellness event. Learn how to public speak. We help coach our presenters and work with them as well. So if speaking and hosting lives is something that you're interested in, there's a variety of different ways that you can do that. But getting started and asking these questions, like Leslie said, is right. And I know we're almost out of time, but I just want to remind everyone. So Leslie has 2 amazing shows. She has on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern time, Mind Over Matter Monday, and 11 a.m. Eastern on Fridays, the Think and Grow Rich Leadership of Principal Laws.
Yeah. And good, exciting things are coming down the pike. So, get ready for the next Chronicle of Errata. So Errata is the science fiction that I wrote summer before last, or that did very well, and I've been on hiatus with it. So that's tomorrow morning. So I will be writing that book in this quarter and getting it out there to be number 14. Yeah,
that's exciting. That's wonderful.
It is. It's exciting. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We always close out with a quote. So
that's
Leslie,
right.
if you're thinking about a quote, we do always close out with one. I'll go ahead and go first while you're thinking about your quote. I went ahead and in the honor of you, I do love Napoleon Hill's book. I've read it twice. I wouldn't say I'm near the master that you are. There's a lot to learn from you, Miss Leslie Flowers, a lot to learn from you. And one day I'll just be able to watch your shows over and over and over again. It's going to be great, and attend them all. Patience, persistence, and perspiration make it an unbeatable combination for success. That is my quote. Patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success.
I love it. I love it.
Leslie, do you have a favorite quote that you like to live by?
I do. It's Henry David Thoreau. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life in which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours.
I love that.
And
you have shared that one with us before, and I love that. That is your consistent. I love that. That's amazing.
I love that one.
Mine this week is the secret to getting ahead is getting started. Mark Twain.
Say that again. I want to do that again, please.
The secret to getting ahead is getting started.
100%.
100%. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So profound, yet so simple.
And it loops into my favorite quote. Don't let 10 minutes of a bad moment disrupt the other 23 hours and 50 minutes of your day.
Love that.
We get lost in that moment of 10 minutes, and we also get lost in the what if. So the Mark Twain quote is so great. Thank you.
If you all in the audience want to drop your quote in here, we'd love to hear it. We appreciate your time tonight on this Sunday evening, whether you're starting your week with us or you're ending your weekend with us. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next Sunday as well, and we look forward to seeing you all then. Damien, did you have anything you wanted to add at the end?
No, I don't have anything to add other than get your tickets to the virtual wellness experience at creativelivingideas.com. Reach out to Leslie Flowers. She has so much information and insight to share. And as always, we will see you next week. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.